There are 16 live players in this field, including the defending champ Brooks Koepka. Sense in the grounds that each passing major live is part of the landscape. What we don't have is clarity on what the future will look like. On that front, there is news to report this evening. Jimmy Dunne has resigned from the PGA Tour's policy board effective immediately. Dunne, one of the architects of the Tour's framework agreement with the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia. The resignation coming nearly a year after the June 6th announcement of that framework agreement. Here is, in part, what Dunne's resignation letter said. It's strong. A little bit of the inmates running the asylum vibe to this one, since the players now outnumber the independent directors on the board and no meaningful progress has been made towards a transaction with the PIF. I feel like my vote and my role is utterly superfluous. Unifying professional golf is paramount to restoring fan interest and repairing wounds left from a fractured game. I have tried my best to move all minds in that direction. With more, let's go back down to Todd, who's with Rex Hoggard.
Yeah, thank you, Rex. We've been covering this story for a number of years now. But, of course, Jimmy Dunne, paramount in that group that created this framework agreement between the PGA Tour and officials from the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia. It was Jimmy Dunne, Ed Hurley, and Jake Monahan, the commissioner of the PGA Tour. Hurley and Dunne, board members, of course, the commissioner involved as well. Those three were the only ones that put this framework together, our framework agreement together on the PGA Tour side. How astonishing is this news to you?
It's pretty shocking. I will say that I got a lot, probably like your phone. My text messages started to light up as soon as this news broke this afternoon. And you're starting to get an idea of what's going on behind closed doors when it comes to the policy board, the new board of directors for PGA Tour Enterprises. Neither Ed Hurley or Jimmy Dunne are on that new policy board. So it's important to point out that going forward, they weren't going to have a vote in this anyway. So I think Jimmy probably did what he felt like he needed to do. And it's important to point out, we just showed some pictures of when he testified in front of the Senate last July. And Jimmy was the person, the face, the voice of the PGA Tour in that testimony, in front of the Senate, in front of the world. It was Jimmy Dunne who convinced the commissioner, Jay Monahan, that they needed to meet face-to-face with someone from the Public Investment Fund. It was Jimmy Dunne who met with Yasir Al-Rumayyan last April to start the process of getting the framework agreement in place. And it was Jimmy Dunne who actually worked all of this out, and he's the one that hammered out the details of the framework agreement. I think in that letter, you can sense his aggravation, you can sense his frustration, and how slow this process has been.
What does this say about the PGA Tour policy board and its maybe its lack of unification?
I think that's a really good way to put it. Let's go back to last week. You were at Quail Hollow. You had a chance to talk with Rory McIlroy. I think he made it pretty clear his feelings on this. He wasn't voted back onto the policy board, and I think that had a little bit more to do with optics than it does the politics of the moment. However, the things he said afterwards were the intriguing part. He was asked about his relationship with Tiger Woods, and he made it clear he and Tiger don't see eye to eye on things. So I think there's an element on the policy board, both player directors and independent directors, who have one vision of what the professional game would be, and then there's another segment who have a different vision of what the professional game would be. And somewhere in the middle is reunification. And I think this is where this came from for Jimmy.
Yeah, talking to Rory McIlroy, he is pushing a global game with this deal with the Public Investment Fund.
And a deal with Public Investment Fund and unification.
He wants that, but there are players and maybe independent directors on the policy board that are pushing against that. So we shall see how this develops. Our colleague Eamon Lynch did catch up with Jimmy Dunne, and here's a quote from him. Again, from Jimmy Dunne: "There's a group that decides things, and I'm not in it, and I'm not consulted. It's time to move on."
And again, the board of directors, which was just created for PGA Tour Enterprises, that's the for-profit arm of what the PGA Tour created. Jimmy Dunne was not on that board of directors.
We shall see how this continues to develop, as there is a continued fracture in the game between the PGA Tour and the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia, otherwise known